of the research.
Oh my goodness. The title of the research is actually something that we can say that is being handled already. Okay. But what is the first thing rather? The first thing that comes in the proposal, Del. Del,
Hello?
go ahead.
Um, yeah, the objective, what drives you to go into to research into the area you are researching, the objectives of that research, that topic.
Before the objective, Del, before the objective, what is the first thing? What is the first thing? Guys, hey, Monsieur here now. Esther,
Prof, I want to say the research background.
the background. That's the first thing. Yeah, yeah. Please write it down. Okay, please write it down. The same way you forgot before Esther mentioned it, you will forget again. So write it down. Research background. The word is background. Background. That's the first thing. The first thing. What is the second thing? Churo upon a mountain. What's the second thing? Samuel.
Prof, you didn't give me my 5 marks. So.
No, it's not 5 marks. I give the marks when I feel like, oh, you don't determine them. I know where the marks are coming. Relax. It's not now. This one are preliminaries.
So, Doc, the second one is a problem statement.
Excellent. So the second aspect is the gap. The gap, also called problem statement. You got to know that. You got to know that. Write it down. Please write it down. Write it down. Write it down. You don't be few. Write it down. Number 3. What is the next thing that comes after the problem statement? Be careful because it's tricky there. And you know,
the purpose of the research.
excellent. Research purpose. Research purpose. That is the thing that concludes actually that background. The research purpose. The research purpose is actually the goal, the aim of the research. It is the goal. The certain things can change along the line, but the goal will never change. What is the next thing after the research purpose? The fourth thing after the research purpose. Can be, oh, yeah. Can be, what can be. Samuel.
The research questions.
Before the research question. Before the research question, guys. Before the question. What is the next thing that comes before the question? Before the Bernard.
The purpose.
We've already mentioned the purpose. We've already mentioned the purpose. After the purpose, which is the broader thing, what is the next thing? Come on, somebody should wake up. Bisapo.
Is it the objective?
It is objective. It is objective. Write it down. Kofi, write it down. You forgot and you will forget again. So write it down. You see, as you write things, there is an information symmetry between your fingers and your brain. Okay. And so you document it, your brain records it through the imposition of the pen on the paper. Fantastic. So you see, you have the background, you have the problem, you have the purpose, you have the objective. You have the objective. What's the next thing after the objective? Purpose, objective. Right after the objectives. Right after the objective. What is the next thing? Right after someone.
The research questions comes.
The question. Now, which one can be more than the other? The questions or the objectives? Which one can be more than the other? The questions or the objectives? Which one? Which one can be more than the other?
Questions.
Please raise your hand. The questions or the objectives? Which one can be more? Which one can be more? Which one? Raise your hand so that we communicate. Mary.
So the objective can be more than the question.
Okay. Now, since you did a lottery, it is the opposite. Yeah. Okay. It is the question that can be more than the objectives. The question can be more than the objectives, but it can also be equal to the objective. Note it down. Note it down. These are very important things. Now, after the purpose, the objectives, the questions, what is the next thing? What is the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing in your proposal scenario? Now, here, getting to this next stages are quite tough. What's the next thing?
Literature review.
It is a literature review. It is and we call it preliminary literature review. It's a preliminary literature review. It's a preliminary. Okay? And there are 2 aspects of the literature review. There are just 2 aspects, 2 major aspects. Who can tell us the first one? The first one. The first one. The first one is the theoretical review. What's the second one? What's the second one? The first is the theoretical. What's the second one? The second is the empirical. The empirical. Shefa, is that what you were going to say? The empirical review. Now, after the literature review, the next step is what? The next step. It starts with M. The next step. What's that? What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step?
Methodology.
It is a methodology, okay? And we call it proposed methodology because it's not full yet. Proposed methodology. I'm giving you your entire way, okay? This will help you not only for this module, it will also help you when you are writing your real life. What next after the methodology? What is the next step after the methodology? It starts with D and D. Okay, what is the next step after the methodology?
Start with what?
What's the next step after the methodology within the proposal? You write all of these things in your one of your questions. So, Shefa. Shefa. Oh, it's not Shefa, Shafa. You have raised your hand multiple times. Let me lower your hand. Okay, so that's data and data sources. Data and data sources. Take note of that. You have data and you have data sources. Okay, data, data sources. Data, data sources. And within that data, that's when you list all the variables that you're going to use. All the variables that you're going to use. Okay. After that, what is the next step? What's the next step after your data and data sources? I should give it to you as an assignment since it's coming. Yes, Bernard.
The research limitations.
It is a research limitation. Very good. It's a research limitation. Come on, you guys. You see, these are the people when they speak, they don't have to tell me that give me marks, and then I give them marks because it's not the marks that is driving them to talk. They are. See, there's a book by Daniel Pink. Write it down. There's a book by Daniel Pink. It's called Drive. D-R-I-V-E. Drive. Write it down. Write it down. See, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many things I'll be giving you in the process that goes beyond research methods. Okay? That will explode your mind in many aspects of your job or business life. Okay? Drive. Daniel Pink says that if whatever is driving you to do what you are doing is external, you have already failed in life. What drives you to do what you do has to be internal, intrinsic, and not external. So why are you doing what you are doing if it is for external reason? If your child is going to do the thing because you said you will give him chocolate, or your child is going to do the work because you said you cane him or her, then that child, you are not treating the child well. The child must love to want to do the thing, not because there's an external reward or an external punishment. And that's why. Okay? It has to be internal. Because anything internal is powerful. There's an African proverb that says that if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. Okay? Because sometimes we are our own what? Enemies. So Bernard, you have 3 marks. That's right. Please note that down. Okay?
Thank you.
You have 3 marks. Now, after the research limitation, what's the next one? What's the next one? Sharp. You see, make us say you be a Google a dealing in our yeah. Oh, penny tap. Yes, Bernard.
The schedule.
The timeline. That's what you meant, didn't it?
Yes.
The timeline. But before the timeline, there's something there. There's something there. Okay. There's something there. That thing, what it does is that it summarizes all the chapters that are going to be coming. Okay. It also ends with line. What is that? Before the timeline. Nina, what's that?
That's the chapter outline.
Outline, very good. Chapter outline. After giving you the clue, you are now in the game, man. That is not marks you know, and I hope you're not worried that you didn't get mad. Keep coming, keep coming. Keep baptizing yourself in the sea of good research methods, and you will get that. And now, after the outline, then you have the timeline. After the timeline, you can now eat the content of your references and then finish it up with your appendices. Did you note all of them down? That is going to give you like 10 marks in your exams. Okay. Now, what we are going to do today is we are going to look at the section known as data, that section of the whole research process, which leads to something called data. Data. Then, Jim, what is data? At this stage, the screen that you are seeing here is all that I'm going to focus on. What is data? Who can tell me the plural and the singular for data? What is the plural and what is the singular for data? What is it? Okay, so when Dr. Furman was teaching you, you guys were used to typing in the chat, and you were not used to talking. Is that the case? Bernard, which one were you guys doing?
Say the question again.
When Dr. Furman was teaching you guys, were you guys focusing on typing answers in the chat, or you were talking?
We were talking.
Then you guys should be talking. Yes, you can tell me what's the difference between data and date? What's the difference between what's the singular and plural for data? Actually, singular and plural are data and data. Sometimes you say the singular is datum, but it's also data, and the plural is also data. Now, data is of two types. That's all we are going to do today before the test. Categorical. There are two types of data. Two types of data. That is what they are. Two types of data. The first type of data is known as categorical data. Categorical. The second type of data, please draw this chart that I'm drawing. Numerical. Numerical. So you have categorical data and numerical data. Okay. Now, in order for you to understand what I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a story. I am an element. Please pay attention because this is where the test is all going to be around. I am an element. I have several attributes. One of my attributes is my name. I have other attributes. Who can tell me another attribute that I have? Who can tell me another attribute that I have apart from my name? You can mention as many attributes about me as much as possible.
Age.
Age. What else?
Character.
Character is too broad. Let's be specific.
Your height.
Height.
Gender.
Gender. Good. What else?
Physical features.
Hey, could hear you. Everything they've said is even physical.
Occupation.
Occupation. What else?
Complexion.
Complexion. What else?
Marital status.
Marital status. What else?
Weight.
Weight. What else?
Religion.
Religion. What else?
Level of education.
Educational level. What else? Yeah, can be. Can be. What die in okay? What by on side? Can be. Can be.
No, can honesty be
No,
one of them?
Your hobby.
Hobby. Very good. Okay. So now, did you realize that some of the things you were mentioning were categorical and some of them were numerical? I'm sure you did. Can you mention any of the things that were mentioned that was categorical?
Profession.
Complexion.
Complexion?
Name.
Your name.
Name?
Gender.
Your hobby.
Gender.
Gender.
What else?
Religion.
Religion? Good. Marital status, occupation, educational level, all of that. And then, of course, there were some that were numerical. Give me just two of them.
Age.
Age.
Height.
Weight.
Income, and so forth. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just mentioned, all of these are called data types. Write it down. Data types. Write it down. Data types. Data types. Data types. Data types. One trying to have during the test, when you should be chimo. Data types. Now, data types are very powerful, but the information inside the data, not just the types. So, you see, the types are qualitative, which is a categorical, and quantitative, which is a numerical. But the informational content in the data is known as the scale of measurement. The scale of measurement. Now, under categorical, there are two scale of measurement. Under categorical, there are two of them. The first one is known as nominal. Please write them down. The second one is known as ordinal. Ordinal. Both of them are under categorical, and therefore both of them are labels. So the similarity between them is that both of them are labels, they are names, they are letters. Write it down. Both of them are labels, both of them are names, both of them are letters. But there's a difference. There's a difference between nominal and ordinal. The difference is that nominal has no intrinsic ordering. Nominal has no meaningful ranking. Ordinal has meaningful ranking. You see, ordinal comes from the word order. Ordinal, meaningful ranking. Order, ranking. Nominal has no meaningful ranking. I'll give you an example. Suppose I say that names, and I mention things like Kweku, Kwejo, Adjoa, Peter, John. Is that nominal or ordinal?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Because you cannot say that Kwejo is better than Kweku, Kweku is better than Adjoa. They are just labels. What if I say something like Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, Islam, atheist, agnostic? Is that nominal or ordinal scale?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Yeah, write them down. It's nominal. What if I say that Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Takrade, Sekunde, is that nominal or ordinal?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Nominal. What if I say TA, professor, emeritus professor, associate professor, senior lecturer? Is that nominal or ordinal?
Ordinal.
No.
Yeah, can you?
Ordinal.
No. What if I say that excellent, poor, average? Is that nominal or ordinal?
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
It's ordinal. What if I say that car, aeroplane, railway line, car, aeroplane, railway, bicycle, motor? Is that nominal or ordinal?
Nominal.
Nominal.
Ordinal.
Nominal.
Nominal.
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
Is that nominal or ordinal?
Nominal.
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 Somebody say modinal. What is modinal? Is that nomi or
Nomi. It's nomi.
Nominal.
Ordinal.
It's not me.
The people who are saying ordinal, they don't come early. After the nominal people are finished, oh, you have to have the vim, whether it's ordinal or not. So that is pure nominal. You can never say that something is better than something. Look, there are some people, when they get, if I give you an aeroplane, okay, and you don't have a visa to go to anywhere, and you can't sell that aeroplane, there's nothing. Somebody prefers his bicycle. That old lady doesn't need an aeroplane because it's just that aeroplane. You can't, quantify it. You can't bring it into monetary terms. It's just the aeroplane. Okay. Somebody wants a car. Somebody prefers a motor. There is no ranking attached to it. First of all, you don't even know the type of car. You know that there are some cars that are more expensive than some houses. And there's a motor, okay, that is more expensive than a car. Okay. So we don't know the model, we don't know the type. So with these examples I've given you, I'm sure you can appreciate the difference between nominal and ordinal. Ordinal, you see, if you remember the way I even mentioned the doctor, professor, and all of those things, even though I mentioned them haphazardly, they were not in ascending or descending order, you could still deduce the ranking in it. And that is the beauty of ordinal. Any question on this? Because we are done with that. Good.
Yeah, sir. Hello.
Go ahead.
At the days of the week, I'm not too sure. It appears to be orderly.
Who can tell us? Is it nominal or ordinal?
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
The days of the week, is that nominal or ordinal? Yeah.
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
Crawford now.
It is nominal.
It's nominal.
Days of the week.
Why?
You can't say that Monday is better than Tuesday.
But
Monday comes before Tuesday.
It doesn't mean importance. Remember, importance, order of importance. It's not.
So please, the
It's not.
ordinal only measures the importance
of the week.
So it's
Sorry?
Monday is the first day of the week.
It doesn't make Monday important than Tuesday. So you got to understand what I mean. It's not just order, but order of importance.
So somebody can also say Sunday is the first day of the week. So
somebody can say Tuesday, depending on. Do you know that in some Arab countries, Friday is the day that you got to put it. Then Saturday is where the week starts. You know, they go to work in Saudi Arabia. They go to work seriously on Sundays. They work on Sundays. So yes, it can be anything. So that's it. Any one of them can be the first day of the week. See, these little tricks are the reasons why you should know the difference between the two. But it's good you ask that question. Let's go to numerical. Unless you have a question. There are two kinds of scale when it comes to numerical. The first one is interval. Please write it down. The second one is ratio. Ratio. Well, there's one thing about the two of them, and that is the fact that both of them are what? Both of them are what?
Quantitative.
They are numbers, exactly. Both of them are numbers. They are numbers. Now, please pay attention. If for some reason you haven't been paying attention up to this time, I will implore you to pay attention. If for some reason you have not been following, I'll urge you to clean your ears and follow, because this is where it gets interesting. Both interval and ratio are numbers. But the thing about interval is that interval deals not with the number, but with the gap between the numbers. That is interval. It doesn't deal with the numbers, but it deals with the gaps between the numbers. Ratio deals with the point estimate, the number itself. You see, the thing about ratio is the best of all scale, all the scale of measurement, all the level of measurement. Why? Because ratio can be counted. Write it down. Ratio can be counted. It can be ordered. It can be ranked. It can be zero. Write it there. It can be zero. That is even the most important one. The thing about ratio is that it can be zero, but interval cannot be zero. Examples that we give will give you a better point. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. This is 3 marks, by the way. Who can tell me the answer? Please raise your hand. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Kofi?
So exactly 10 degrees.
Exactly 10 degrees is wrong. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Why are there? What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? You see, what I'm giving is a question, and the question is 3 marks. You should know that it's not a joke. Because you are here. It's not a joke. What's the difference?
30.
Please raise your hand. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? These are
10 and 20.
That's wrong. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Agbeko.
30.
30 is wrong. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Ebenezer.
10 degrees.
Sorry?
10 degrees.
That's wrong. Bernard.
20 degrees.
That's wrong. Samuel.
They are both 10 degrees, but the qualitative meaning are different.
That's wrong. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Godwin.
There's no difference.
So what is the difference, Godwin?
So the difference is that there is no difference, so they are the same.
What is the difference?
The difference is 10, so it makes them not different from each other.
Where's Godwin? I was going to help you here. What is the difference? What is the numerical value of the difference? Prince of Apia Kubi.
10. The difference is 0.
Who said that? Who said 0?
Prince.
That's the answer. 3 marks for you.
I told you first.
Look, I asked you a specific question, Godwin. I even helped you. So what is the numerical value of the difference? You said 10. Well, you said there's no difference. So if you say there is no difference in something, and I ask you, so in that case, what is the difference? You just said that the difference is 0.
Say, but I tried to.
Didn't try. You either drink deep or you taste not the Pierian spring. Their shallow drought will intoxicate your brain, and drinking largely will sober you again.
Say, but at least at 1.5 marks.
You either Prince.
Doc.
You got a 0, right?
Yes.
It's not over yet until it's all over. So before you get a max, explain to me why you said 0.
Prof, since there's no difference,
no,
I just
noticed
that
critically the whole package, why you think there's no difference. Everyone who has ever given me that answer, actually for the past 14 years, only 7 people have given me the correct answer. And each one has explained why they gave that answer.
Okay, Prof. Let me start. So you said, so the first two is the first two, which is the 80 to the 90 is 10. And then the last two, that's the 90 and the 100 to is 10. and you're asking for the difference, which will be 10 minus 10, making 0.
Excellent. So you see, the brain doesn't like to think. Friends, that is why the brain has to think. As far as you are concerned, you got the answer, but you didn't think about a reason behind the answer until I pushed your brain to think. And you thought. That is why if I ask you, Prince, what is 2 plus 2?
4.
Does that make you smart, Prince?
Well, maybe, but I've had this since class 1, so
Yeah. So it doesn't make you smart. Because the answer comes from your it didn't come from your
it came from my subconscious mind.
Came from your memory. It is stored. You've heard that question over 100 times. It's stored. So you just brought what is stored in your cerebral cortex.
Yes.
It doesn't make you smart. It should come from your imagination. Now, let's prove that. Prince, Prince, are you there?
Doc, I'm here, please.
What is 87 times 242?
Doc, unless we use a calculator.
At that stage, your brain now has to what?
Think.
Now, that process is called imagination. That is why you were created in the image of a creator whose creativity in his creation is creative. You see, the brain will not want to normally think. So the moment I asked you said, let's use a calculator. But did you know, Prince, that if you decide to use your brain up for a while, you can get the answer? Did you know that?
Yes, I know that.
Exactly. So one thing about the brain is that the brain works better when you push it. We have to learn how to learn instead of learning the learning. Learn how to learn instead of learning the learning. Okay. The moment you learn how to learn, you don't need to learn. Because knowing how to learn makes learning automatic. Anyway, so that is a perfect answer. Now you can get your 3 marks into your pocket. Okay. Actually, take note of that. These 3 marks will go into continuous assessment. So you are going to be marked under 97% instead of the 100%. So keep getting more. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for making me think.
Now, guys, let's come back to the real thing. Let me give you another example. Oh, so by the way, that statement I gave is an interval. Because the focus was not on the 80 degrees and on the 90 degrees. It was on the 10. What's the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? That was not the issue. The issue was about the gap. The difference between the 10 and the 10, that was the most important thing. It's not about the number. So interval is very, very important because it helps you to have a range in mind than actually a point estimate. Let me ask you something. Suppose your friend comes to you to ask you that, Bernard, what mark did you get in research methods? And you said, I had 81. And your friend started laughing at you. And you asked him that, why are you laughing at me? And then he said, you had 81. I had 99. Why will you laugh at the person now? Why will you now laugh at the person?
Because both are A's.
Exactly. So the focus is not on what, but it's on what?
Interval.
But the grades.
The focus is not on the numbers, but on the gap between the numbers, on the interval between the numbers. So that is why in things like scholastic assessment tests, TOEFL, okay, SAT, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, and all of those, that is why the goal is to just get a certain range of numbers and you are through. These are all examples of interval. The weatherman always talks about things in the intervals. The weather is going to be between 27 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees Celsius. It's always in the form of interval. There are certain things that are always generally in the form of interval. But that is not the same as ratio. You see, ratio is a number. But the most important thing about ratio is that it can be zero. So, ladies and gentlemen, the most difficult one is ratio, and it's also the most powerful one. For something to be ratio scale, it must have zero. Let's take a couple of examples. They are quite tricky. And I'm first going to tell you that they are zeros. Yours is to prove to me why they are zeros. Age can be zero. Therefore, age is ratio. Now, who can tell me why age can be zero? Under what circumstances can age be zero? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Under what circumstance can age be zero? Age is ratio. Believe it or not, age is ratio. But under what circumstance can age be zero, making it a ratio? Who can think? Remember, the brain doesn't like to think. Under what circumstance can age be zero?
The moment you're born.
That is not correct.
Hmm.
Think. Andy.
Immediately they give birth to you.
Sorry?
Immediately they give birth to you.
Immediately they give birth to you. That's wrong. When is age zero?
Before you are born.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Divine.
When you are in your mommy's tummy as that's when the age is zero. So when you are born, your mommy's tummy.
So age is when you are in the womb of your mother. The pregnancy is not age of the child. It's the age of the pregnancy. That 9 months is the age of the pregnancy. It's not the age of the child. The moment the child is born, that is when age begins. A child can be 6 seconds old. A child can be 2 minutes old. A child can be 5 hours old. When a child is less than 1 year, you don't say my child is just less than 1 year. You don't say that my child is 6 months. No, you say my child is 2 hours old. In fact, there was a contest as to which child was the 7th billion child. The contest was between a woman in California and a woman in Hawaii. Both of them claimed that their child was a 7th billion child because of the time the child was born. Actually, the two children were born at the same second. And so they had to split them. And they split them in 9 milliseconds. So if one child is 9 milliseconds older than the other, that should tell you that, age can be single, very, 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 very tiny. Yes, Samuel.
Yes, thank you, doctor. But I think in South Korea, they use a traditional naming aging system where the child is already 1 year by the
I
time
wanted for me to ask you that question. Because I was going to ask the question, which I always ask, that which 2 countries would disagree with this statement? Outside.
Japan and South Korea, I think. Japan and South Korea.
Is South Korea and another country?
And China, rather.
Exactly. China and South Korea. Very good. But I like your question. So that is 2 marks for you for actually coming in with that interjection and then answering the interjection. So guys.
Who's my answer?
Finance sharing wide.
The marks for my answer.
No. I determine. I determine who gets the marks and how I feel, how you make me feel in this room or not. You see the way I'm making you feel. How you make me feel You see that guy, he wasn't expecting me to give him the marks, but then he's gotten the marks. So keep on sowing, keep on plugging away. Be a Chinese bamboo tree. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going.
Okay.
Now, under what circumstance can time be zero? Who can tell me? Time is ratio, by the way. But who can tell me under what circumstance can time be zero? On your marks, get set. Now, when it is get set and you look on the dashboard, what number is there? On your marks, get set. What number is there?
Zero.
Okay, zero. And that is an indication that time can be zero. Weight can be zero. Height can be zero. Okay, all of these can be. We don't have the time to go through all of them. So now that you understand everything, unless you have a question, you are now ready. Kofi, you are ready to start going through some exercise before the test.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to ask, when the clock hits exactly midnight or midday, can we call that a point at which time is zero?
Exactly. So that is a clear example of when the time is zero. Yes. Now I'm going to show you 3 questions. You have a simple job to do. This one is, each one of them is 2 marks. When you raise your hand and I call you and you give the correct answer, you get it. Okay. So I'm going to show you some statements. Yours is to simply tell me whether it is categorical or numerical, but also go ahead and tell me the scale of measurement. Tell me whether the scale of measurement is nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. You raise your hand, you answer it, you bag in the 2 marks. Let's start with the first one. An opinion poll was taken, asking people which party they would vote for in a general election. What is the scale of measurement? What is the data type? And what is the scale of measurement for this? Kofi?
There's categorical and nominal.
Perfect answer. 2 marks. Number 2. A market researcher stops you on the Spinters Road, asks you to rate between 1, disagree strongly, and 5, agree strongly. Your response to opinions presented to you. What is the data type and what is the level of measurement? Nina Afo. Nina Afo.
Categorical and ordinal.
Correct. 2 marks. Next one, incomes of Ghanaian musicians. Incomes of Ghanaian musicians. Mary Kunadu. Ajwa.
Yes, dog, please. It's categorical and nominal. I know, and ordinal.
Don't worry, Mary. I think it was on the previous one. That's why I mistakenly called. Isn't it?
It's numerical and then ratio.
Numerical and ratio is the right answer. Very good. So now we are ready for the test. Are you ready? If you are ready for the test, just type the letter Y. Y for yes. Y for yes. Y for yes. Y for yes. I have some 4 rules to give before the test will start. With the knowledge you've acquired, you should crack it. With the knowledge you've acquired, you should win. Now, this is how it's going to work, ladies and gentlemen. Rule number 1 is that you have to tell me, and please, at this stage, you are going to look more in the chat room because I'm going to type something there. If a question has been asked, yours is to indicate whether it is categorical or numerical. And if it is so, indicate whether it's nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. This is how you should write the answer. Watch the chat room. I have written exactly how to write it. If it is categorical and nominal, you should write it categorical and nominal. Don't use capital letters at all. Just use what I have shown you. You see this thing I'm saying? Many will make mistakes if they don't listen. Don't make a typo mistake. Don't make a typo. write it. If it is categorical and ordinal, just write it like this. Categorical and ordinal. Just the way I have written it. Categorical dash ordinal. If it is numerical and interval, just write it the way I put it there. Numerical and interval. No gimmicks. If it is numerical and ratio, just write it the same way I've written it there, numerical and ratio. You make the slightest mistake, typo, any slight thing, everything is wrong. Okay. Now, how do you submit the answer to me? The question is going to be shown to you right now for each of the 6 questions. For each question, yours is to provide me the answer. We will now mention the full answer within a certain time frame. After that, we'll go to the next question. Now, you have 60 seconds to give me an answer to each question. I will tell you when the clock starts. I'll tell you when the clocks end. When it is 50 seconds, I'll tell you. When it is 40 seconds to go, I'll tell you. When it's 30 seconds, I'll tell you. When it is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the end of that one, I will type a statement in the main group, and that statement will simply say stop. The moment the word stop is typed in the main group, synchronizing it with when you put yours, everything after the stop will not be counted. This is an IQ level information that you're going to give. Now, how do you give me your answer? You are not supposed to give me your answer in the main chat. You are supposed to privately send me your answer. Now, how do you know where I am? Well, you can see that I've typed some messages some few minutes ago. When you click on any of these messages, you will see my name, okay? And then you can now say hi. So now I want you to privately send me hi. Anybody who sends me hi and it's not private, I'll mention your name so that you know that you have made a mistake until you get it wrong. Claudette, you just got it wrong. You didn't send me the hi privately. Prince Apia Kubi, you got it wrong. It is supposed to be private. Michael, you got it wrong. It is supposed to be private. You got to keep doing it until I don't mention your name. Christine Dampare, Ramat, you are all making mistake. Gordon, you are making a mistake. It has to be private, not the way you are sending it to me. Be Sapon, you made a mistake. What you did is not private message. Do it again until you get it correct. It has to be private. Ladies and gentlemen, please note the rules of engagement. I beg you. Privately send me a hi so that if I don't mention your name, you know that you did it correctly. Because the moment we start and you start providing me the answers on the page, like the one that Frimpoma just did, you will get 0, please. So Frimpoma, what you just did is wrong. Ramat, you've done it wrong again. Nina Afo, you just did it wrong again. Watch me. You will see my name there in the list, Dr. Kewe, and then you will send me that hi. So keep ensure. Sometimes when somebody puts a message in the main chat, it can take yours away. Esther, you did it wrongly. So ensure that you are doing the hi correctly. Your hi must not be seen in the main page. It has to be private. And when it is private, I will not mention your name. I only mention your name when you send it wrongly to the main page. So, one last one. Everybody, send me that private hi again. Esther, you are wrong. I hope you've done the correct thing. Gordon is wrong. Divine is wrong. See, people are still doing it wrongly. Ensure that you are doing the right thing. Divine, you are wrong. You got to do it properly. Gordon, you are wrong. You got to do it properly.
Doc, please, are you talking about Gordon or Godwin? Because I'm getting confused. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so at this stage, I want to believe that everybody has done the correct thing. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'm still struggling here.
I'm still struggling.
If you are struggling, you will send me a hi and I'll see it and I'll Prince Apia Pibi. Prince Apia Pibi, you are wrong. If you say you are still struggling, it's because maybe you haven't sent me again for me to confirm. You should see my name before you send the hi. So far, nobody has made a mistake. So I want to assume that you have all done correctly, isn't it? Those of you who said you are still struggling, Divine, what mistake are you doing? Esther, you are still making a mistake. Ramat is still making a mistake. Something is not right. Beatrice, you are making a mistake.
Yes, sir.
So
done it. Can you show them what they should do?
So you can go to where the participants are. When you click on it, Doc's name will be the first you see because he's the host. You can just click on his name and you will see chat.
So when you hover your cursor on my name, okay, when you hover your cursor or you click on my name on the 3 dots, you see chat. If you click the 3 dots, or you will see the word chat, then you click and then you say hi. That is when the thing comes to me privately. It's very important you get this right because the moment we start and you start making that mistake, I will not.
Have I done it right?
If you have done it right, I will not mention you. Prince, you just did it wrongly. Ramat, you just did it wrongly. Albert, you did it wrongly.
So, 1 minute.
Yeah, normally it happens when people are using their phones, when they are not using their laptops. For example, from next week, you all come with laptop because it's all going to be laptop work.
Please, can you come again? You said we should go to the chat. I thought I've heard it correct too.
Have you seen the participant's name at the top?
Come again.
You can't see the participant's name at the top.
Yes, the participant, okay. Yeah, I can see the participant.
Yeah, you should see my name, Dr. Keoye there.
I think I'm succeeded now, right? Divine.
Divine, your name is showing here. So if you have sent hi, then you are correctly done.
Doc, am I still?
I wouldn't know until you have sent hi. And the hi
I've sent it a couple of times now.
Well, if it didn't show here, it means that you have done it correctly because Albert.
So can you kindly check my absent?
Albert, you still sent it to the group.
I still sent it to the group. Wow.
All right. We're going to start. So I'm going to show you the question. And once I show you the question, I'll tell you the time. You have 60 seconds to provide an answer. And when it is time, I'll just type this word in the main page. And please, anytime you're going to say hi, ensure that you are not saying the hi to the main page, but you're rather sending it to me. Ensure that. Okay. May the good God be with all of you.
Oh, please, can you please go over the rules again, please?
Over which one?
Please, the rules for the test, please, all of them, please.
Yeah. All of them, say. Pablo. The rule is saying that you should not type the message to the page. That's the main rule. That's the main rule. I'm going to show you a question or a statement or a sentence. Yours is to tell me whether it's categorical or numerical and type it well. Don't make mistake. If it is categorical, tell me whether it's nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. If you mix them, you are wrong. You can't say categorical and then you say it is interval. That's wrong. Ebenezer.
Yes, Prof. Please, do we have to number the answers?
You can, yes. You can number them.
Okay.
It's not compulsory though, but you can number.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to the
So we'll
first.
send you the answers privately. Right.
Hey, I feel like we said that kind of question in there. That was said 15 minutes ago and was repeated many, many times. Okay, you have 60 seconds to provide me the answer to the first question. Let's go. Question number 1. So normally you have questions from the Wall Street Journal and they will ask a series of questions. What is these questions are normally asked? I've picked 6 of those questions and they are the ones I'm going to pose you. Yours is to tell me whether it is categorical or numerical and then indicate whether it's nominal, interval, ratio, ordinal, all of that. Let's start with the first one. 60 seconds. What is your age? $50 seconds to go. $40 seconds. $30 seconds. Remember, you cannot provide an answer when the time is up. And you can't give 2 answers. It's only one at a go. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Once I type stop, anybody who presents an answer, that person is wrong. So we're done with the first one. Who can provide us with the answer to the first one so that others can check what they did? Who can raise a hand and tell us the answer to question 1? Bernard.
Numerical. The scale of measurement is ratio.
Perfect. So this is numerical and it is ratio. You know by now if you are correct, and you know by now if you are not. Don't worry, we've got 5 more to go. Let's go to question number 2. Again, you have 60 seconds. Let's start. Are you male or female? 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop. Now, once I put in the stop in the main place, any private answer is not recordable. Some of you are doing very well from what I'm seeing. Who can provide us with the answer to this very one? Leonard.
Categorical and nominal.
It is categorical and it is nominal. You know by now if you are on the right track. I'm sure by now some of you are 2/2. If you have 2/2 so far, just say 2. Say it in the air. Say 2, 2. Be proud of that. Shout it into the voice. Just shout that 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Just say it. Okay. Because the other ones that are coming, you might not be able to say it. So it's important that you celebrate what you have now. Okay. We've got 4 more to go. If you are not sure, you don't have a question, if you have a question related to what we answered, you can ask so that we can clarify it for you. If not, let's go to question 3. 60 seconds. Again, may the good God be with you. When did you first start reading daily graphic? College career, early career, mid-career, retirement. You have 60 seconds to provide that. This is tricky. Be careful there, because the first answer that came to your head might be wrong. "40 seconds to go. Think hard. "20 seconds to go. "10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. 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 Okay, who can give us the answer to this one? This one was tricky. This one was not a joke at all. Yes, Bernard.
Categorical and ordinal.
Categorical and ordinal is the right answer. Categorical and ordinal. Okay. So far, some of you have slipped. Some of you are in the game. There are some of you with 3/3, and you know yourself. Let's go to the next question. That is question number 4. That is it's probably the second most trickiest one. Okay, that's the trickiest of all. So just be careful for the answer to that. You got 60 seconds. One more time. How long have you been in your job or position? How long have you been in your job or position? You got 60 seconds. How long have you been in your job or position? Be careful. You have 50 seconds. "40 seconds to go. "30 seconds to go. "15 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop. It's time. It's time. Whatever you have said already. Samuel, what is the answer?
Numerical and ratio.
Numerical and ratio is the right answer. Excellent. Numerical and ratio. Numerical and ratio. Who is winning? Who still has 4/4? Who still has 4/4? You gotta be proud though. If you have 4/4, you gotta be so proud. Because I'm telling you, somebody is somewhere in Honolulu. Honolulu, I know what. Okay. So that is it. And this question was very, very quite tricky because that how long, to what extent can it be ratio? It can be that you've not started a job. You have the job offer, but you haven't started a job, which means that the length is 0. That is how something can be 0. Length is 0. When it is a point, it's 0. When it is a line, it's a distance. Let's go to question number 5. Now, the question number 5 is now the trickiest of all. I can confirm that. It's the trickiest of all. In fact, the next question you're going to see, the answer can be nominal, it can be ordinal, it can be interval, it can be ratio. So when you think, don't take that first one, think the second one. Let's go. You got 60 seconds, one more time. What type of car do you want to next buy? What type of car do you want to next buy? 9 responses were given: BMW, Benz, Toyota, Hyundai, all of that. 60 seconds. 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Now you have 45 seconds to go. $30 seconds to go. Never there. 40 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop! 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 Now where I am, liar. Now I can. There's nothing else you can do. Someone tell us.
It's categorical and nominal.
It is categorical and nominal. It can never be ordinal because the thing is that who told you that BMW is better than Ben? What type are we even talking about? In fact, there were 9 responses. Only few were given. So you can't rank them in order of importance. It is pure nominal. Pure nominal. There's no 2 ways about that. Pure nominal.
But Prof,
yes.
Isn't that the case that when you look at the ranking of cars, you could tell which one performed better than the other?
Well, that depends on the model, right? So when you say look at ranking, which model of that are we looking at?
Because, okay.
Which
mathematically, you can't say that each one is better than the other. So that mathematically, it's difficult to say unless you look into other factors. But mathematically, they are all the same.
Okay, so Chief, in your view, which one is better? Which one is better?
But I was just thinking, how can you rank? How can you compare Hyundai to BMW, for instance?
Okay, but how can you also compare BMW to the other 3 that were not mentioned? You know, there were 9, etc. was added. So you don't know that 9. What if one of them was, you know, Lamborghini?
Okay.
There were so many wrong things about the question, about the statement. That does not make it correct to rank them. I like the way the guy spoke. He said, how can you compare that? Hey, master. Like, you don't think that Hyundai is something, eh? My first car was Hyundai.
Don't mean that.
My first car was Sonata. So, in the way I cherish it, you know how your friends love this. Now you have put my car in a quagmire of physical mediocrity. Okay.
No, sir, I was just compared to the other cars. It's just an example, sir.
That. Hey, do you know Hyundai Genesis?
Very nice car.
Oh, pay all or see a he said that don't bother.
This is a nice car.
He said you shouldn't even bother about it, cry. It doesn't match a BMW. Yes, Gordon.
Yes, Prof. But the question that was actually asked, the asker of the question had a had had the supposition. So he says that what type of car do you want to buy next? So it means that there are cars that you have and you are considering of buying other cars. And so therefore, if you have other cars,
That
wouldn't
precedes
that be
cars you already have, and they are considering what you want to next buy.
yes? So
It could be that you have bought cars and then the car had an accident too, and now you have no car. So what is the next one you're going to buy?
yes, so if it if I the cars that I actually have, or if I even have cars that have even been involved in accident, I would be able to count the number of cars that I have which have been involved in an accident, and so therefore I would have gone for numerical and then say a ratio because they could be numbered.
Oh, but not necessarily. And I'm saying that first of all, there is no guarantee that the next car you are. Remember, it is not even even if you can number them, it doesn't make it important. For example, I can say that let a male be 1, let a female be 0. Does that make a male important than the female? Even though you have coded them, you can say that religion, let Buddhism be 1, let Christianity be 2, let Islam be 3, let atheism be 4. Does that make atheism better than the others? Does that make Buddhism better than the others, even though you coded them? So
okay,
the coding doesn't still make it important than the other. It can't still be ranked.
Doc, so if there's a clear data indicating or corroborating the assertion in question which have been made. So therefore, let's say with the scenario that you cited, so if there's a data or if there's a research work which has been undertaken effectively, pointing out to the fact that Hinduism or let's say Buddhism, have been rated with a certain data, and for that reason, I am actually referencing or building my point based on the data which have been actually provided.
Okay, so write this down. When you want to use categorical, numerical, and the scale of measurement, whatever you do must be agreeable in every country, agreeable in every time period, in every place. Every time, every place, every country. So when you say that a professor is better than a TA, it cuts across all time periods and all spaces. There is no question. That is how excellent is better than poor in every time period, in every country, in every place. But you can't say the same thing about a religion, whichever way you look at it. You can't say the same thing about it is personal preferences here. But what we are talking about is universal. There's no personal.
Yes, Prof. The
point
I'm actually making is that, for instance,
if you get a research that endorses it, that research can be thwarted by another research. Because again, we've had research that had proved that the earth was flat, the earth was round some years back in the medieval ages, that the earth was so flat that if you are driving, you should be careful so that you don't fall to the pit of the earth at the end, at the limit of it. Until Isaac Newton went into the sky and used his telescope, could see that the earth is not only round, but it's a sphere. So my point I'm saying is that whatever you claim that it has been proven, it will be unproven because you always have a thesis. Then you have an antithesis before you have a synthesis. it will create another thesis, on and on and on. So research doesn't matter. It has to be universally accepted. It has to be universally accepted.
Okay, Prof, let's say a country like China, we all know China is a typically communist state. And so therefore their way of thinking, the way they do their things are communally inclined. Once you are born into the country, there's a legal regime that shapes your line of
you make
thinking.
the point.
Yeah, so there's a legal regime that shapes your life, or the life and your life of thinking
Also,
till you actually.
in the universal clause of the world. You read news.
But
you know what is going
yes,
on around the world.
yes, but because you actually cited country, so I am also making my point or advancing my argument, relative to the.
I said it doesn't matter which country. I didn't give a specific country. I said it doesn't matter which country, whatever it is decided on must be universally accepted. Whatever you are saying, the fact that I'm even disagreeing with you and giving you reasons why what you are saying is not, it doesn't tell her, because see, there are 9 responses here. 9 responses were given, but then the sentence ended by saying that, etc. Etc. means that there are 4 more that were not provided. So how would you know those 4? The 4 more have not been provided. It's not what you think. It's not what is in your head. It's what is provided here. What you are seeing on your screen is what we are discussing, not what is somewhere else. What on the screen here, there's no ranking that shows that, in the screen here, okay, that shows that, this one is better than that. There's nothing here. Let's go back to the previous one, the one that was ordinal. Here, if you check this one, it was so clear. Look at the statement. When did you first start reading daily graphic? Now, you see the word first. Then you have the word start. That was giving, first of all, a certain clue of ranking. Number 2, it gave some time periods when you were in high school, college, early career. With the information at hand right now, you can rank them. I'm telling you. Do you get it?
Yes.
You can rank this. Forget about whatever is outside the domain here. What you have alone here can be ranked. Because it was given from the beginning and we had an end. But if you compare that with this one, where is the next one? If you compare that with this one, they truncated the answers. 9 responses included. Why would you give me 9 responses and just didn't give me the rest? It leaves in doubt what can be ranked. Even if what you are saying is correct, even if BMW is better, we don't know that of the others. For us to be able to conclude that given the information at hand, we can rank them. I'm sure you get a point.
Yes, I get your point.
Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is the last one. By the way, I hope some of you have gotten 5 over 5. Okay, I hope. Because I'm going to take note of those who will get 6 over 6. So the last one is 60 seconds. Let's see. Is the trickiest. Is the trickiest of all. Okay, is the last and the most difficult. What grade did you get in research methods? Is it A, F, D, B plus, or B? You have 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to provide me with the best answer. You have 45 seconds. You have 30 seconds to go. 30. $20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Stop. Stop. Wow. Oh my goodness. Let's see who can give us the answer to this. This is interesting. This very one was quite deep, very deep. Let me give it to Ramat. Tell us.
Categorical ordinal.
Categorical and ordinal. That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
But I couldn't do some more.
It's okay. It's okay. You did some. Let's focus on the one you did, not the one you didn't. Oh my goodness. So I want only those, and by the way, before you raise your hand, ensure that you made no typo. Check it again, because I'm going to do some verification. So if you think you had 6/6, raise your hand. If you know you did justice to everything and you made no typographical error, because I'm going to be checking everything. Raise your hand. If you have 6s, check and double check first. 6/6. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Okay. Now, Doreen, why did it take you that long to join? Agbeko, why is it taking you long before you raise your hand? You didn't know all along that you had 6?
Was double checking my spellings. Yes.
You're checking your spellings?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to check it too. Okay. So let me start it. Bernard, let me see your spelling. So Bernard, your first one, your second one, your third one, your fourth one, your fifth one, your sixth one, perfect answer. There's no question about that. Let's go to Divine. Divine, let's look at it. Divine, I told you to use small letters, but at least you are consistent with each one of them. So let me see. Numerical, categorical, numerical, categorical, numerical. Excellent, very good. Now let's go to Doreen. Keep your hand up, even if I check, still keep your hand up. Doreen. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, the seventh one, perfect answer. No question about that. Let's go to Agbeko. Agbeko. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one. Very good, excellent. Now stay on the screen. Don't really remove your hands, all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to clap for these 4 gargantuan gagamamus in our midst. These are the creme de la cremes. These are the alphas and omega. These are, please show your care, your love, your love for these people. Clap for them, make some noise and throw some balloons. These are the people you should befriend in this crowd, not the ones you've been befriending. These are the people you should get to know their names, send them for lunch. Show them that, you know, they are the Oboros of this room. Somebody should say hello on your page for me. Somebody should say hello on your group page for me, because I want to honor these gargantuan gagamamus. These are the acataporiuses of this room. These are the superpowers, the gigantic gigangas. If you ever need a friend, if you ever need someone whose sagacity has risen to the highest apogolic level, get to know these people. These are the champion of champions. But when someone, because you didn't get there, and if you didn't get there and they got there, you got to show them. These are your creme de la cremes, your champions, your champions. Get to know them. If you don't know them, get to know them. Their names are Divine Haezo. Doreen, I don't know your last name. Doreen, Agbeko Dasebu, and Bernard Mawenyega. These guys, fear them because they are buckets of knowledge. I'm putting them on the page. Oh my goodness. I love you guys. I love you guys. You make my work exciting for me. You make my job so incredibly wonderful for me. Ladies and gentlemen,